Hello guys, and welcome to a very special edition of Keep It Spiritual, and of course a massive happy Halloween 2020 wherever you are celebrating in the world. Now of course I had to bring you something big for this special edition, Halloween edition of Keep It Spiritual. Now I bring you the biggest rock stars of witchcraft. Yes I do. It's the beautiful Flavia Kate Peters and of course the beautiful Barbara Meiklejohn-Free. Now these are famous witches all over the world, have brought you many different books, many different oracle decks, and of course here in this interview we find out about their journey, their history, and all their passion and knowledge of wisecraft and of course witchcraft. And we talk about their newest oracle deck, which is all about spellcasting oracle. It's a beautiful deck if you're looking to cast your spells this evening and really get into the spirit of All Hallows Eve. This is the only interview you will need this All Hallows Eve. And of course there's talk about spells, witchcraft, the history, and how you can enhance your own life through the beautiful art and craft of Wicca spells and witchcraft. So I really hope you enjoy this special interview with the rock stars of witchcraft. Enjoy! Well, Flavia and Barbara, welcome to Keep It Spiritual. First of all, how are you both doing?
Oh, we're doing really well, aren't we?
Yeah, we're doing really, really well.
Yeah.
It's just, life is giving us opportunities at the moment, and we're just really embracing them. And Anubis has just turned up as we said that. Our magical cat's just appeared and going, okay, it's film time.
I love that. So she knows the energy.
Oh, he knows. Here he is. He's going to come and
There he is.
He's well known on our Witches Familiars deck. He's on the front cover, so he's kind of our black cat, and he's also in a few other of our decks. So
Yeah, he is. He's on the, yeah, he is. He's on the good luck card of spellcasting. He's not really very comfortable though.
No, he's not.
Right, put me down. I love it. So of course, many people will know you guys, and of course you're both high priestesses, authors, teachers of natural and ancient magic as well, which I absolutely love, and of course together have such a spiritual, intuitive connection which everyone can just see. But for you guys, where did it all begin?
Oh my gosh, you can go first if you like, but it goes right back to the very beginning.
Mm-hmm. For both of us, and it was really interesting because we're soul sisters. We met in Glastonbury over 10 years ago, and we just knew. And I'd always been looking for a magical partner, and here she is, and it was just incredible. But my story begins in the Highlands of Scotland in Inverness, and my Scottish accent starts to come out. And I sort of grew up with a family that were very much stick me to church. I wasn't playing. I climb in the trees. Anubis is sitting at my feet, by the way, at the moment. And so by 12 or 13, I was sort of going, I'm not weird, I'm not strange, I'm not stupid, because that's what I was classed in school. And I would always get naughty, be naughty. They kick me out, put the dancer's hat on, witch's hat, of course. And of course, I'd run off outside into the forest. And that was my teaching ground. So, and what was interesting was that I used to raise baby rooks because they fall out of the trees, and ravens, sorry. But when I met Flavia, she used to raise baby rooks. So we were both doing it in different parts of the country and doing this. And so when we came together, it was just incredible. And then at 13 years old, I met Swain MacDonald, the Highland seer. And I walked into the room where he was doing readings, and he looked at me, he said, "You've got the gift of the second sight." And it's the one thing for all of us is somebody else recognizing us and recognizing that inner spirit, that passion, that drive to help change both ourselves, others, and the world. And so I learned with him. I was initiated into the craft at 16 years old by Scotty Wilson from Scotland and Swain MacDonald, the Highland seer. And then the journey up, I had my grandmother to help me up in Caithness. And so I was very, very, very fortunate to have people around me. And then my journey went off to the native lands and work with the Native Americans, because being at that time dyslexic, the only way I could learn was oral teaching. So I went out there, and then of course I was very fortunate. I started work with the airlines, so I was able to travel. And when I met Flavia, it was kind of like this. She completed the parts, you know, certain things I would do that she did, and vice versa. And we just came together, and there's this. And we're both daughters of Gaia. You know, we're singers, we're rock bands, so we've sung at Witchfest, you know, we are the witches, and it's just that passion and bringing it alive, and it's just so wonderful to work with Flavia, and we've both got those same passions and ideas.
Beautiful. It's so beautiful to hear, though. It is, and it's nice to hear that, you know, you've had that connection even before you met. So, you know, it definitely was in the stars, wasn't it?
Yes.
I know, it's really weird because through my life, you know, I've always, like, I remember running a big workshop once, and I remember a lady walked in amongst hundreds, and I remember hearing myself saying, is that her? And then I asked myself, who? And I always felt there was someone out there, but I didn't know if it was a her or a him. And we're not talking in a romantically way. This is a way of working together. And really, when we met, it was just double trouble. It was complete double trouble. Suddenly, I mean, I've always, whatever I've wished for has always come about. And I know the same with Barbara, but suddenly it was really coming back about, and like that, the moment we got together. And my story is quite similar to Barbara's because, well, I was actually brought up in the middle of the woods. I was in a house, but my passion, so I walk out and I'm in the woods. And my favourite things as a child, I always looked for fairies. I found them as well, and I used to leave them like little treats and treasures. And I was really lucky because my dad was really spiritual, so he would take me to the trees. He'd call them the trees of power, and we'd both like meditate at them and really connect with nature. So I was a massive child of nature. It was really amazing. And when he left when I was 13, I just shut everything down. And it wasn't until I was about 17, and the angels found me. And I suddenly remembered how I used to be able to see them when I was a child. But my deepest passion was, I've always had like a witchy soul and a pagan heart. And yeah, and I was in Glastonbury because I worked really heavily like on the fairy witchcraft side of things. And I was in Glastonbury one day with Karen Kay. Yeah. And we had just done a big fairy event. And suddenly she shouted across the road going, Barbara, Barbara. And this lady with long hair and long skirts, she picked up her skirts and came running across. I thought, wow. And I was introduced to Barbara Meiklejohn-Free, and that was it. And I was asked to join Daughters of Gaia, which was the band that Karen and Barbara were in at the time. And the rest is history, really. And that was 10 years ago. But in between times, I've always been teaching and giving readings like Barbara has. And, you know, for the last 20 years, we've been working solidly, just really getting the magic of the old ways out there.
Yeah, and I just love, you know, how you have come together. And of course, you know, through everything, you're kind of like kindred spirits, I suppose, aren't you? That were meant to find each other. And you really are. You both really are. And, you know, your energy and everything, you know, it's important to have that for people that are learning and kind of growing with it. And like you mentioned there, you know, the kind of teachings of that ancient magic, you know, it's so important for witches that are coming about today to know the real way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, really, we're fortunate in this day and age. Like, gosh, I can't believe it's 20 years since the last century. That makes us all sound, those that us remember it, makes us sound terribly old. But it's this, that magic, that ancient magic has really begun to surface. And those that are younger than us, not giving away any ages here, but you know, like the generation that are the millennials that have been brought up in this century have been brought up on Harry Potter. Yes. They've been brought up on Charmed, Bewitched, and so many other things that are just so acceptable to them. And they could choose, these people could choose to be a witch and being brought up on that magic. Whereas last century, the century that we were actually brought up in, it was evil, it was wrong, we were dragged to church, we were told the devil was making us do it all. And so we're actually rejoicing in the fact, seeing so many witchlets now who are naturally embracing the craft or whatever magic they want to do. But from what you're saying, we are, and we believe we are like the foundations. We are the foundations of the witchcraft in this day and age now. We've been doing it from those foundations, not from the the TV programs. However, that sparked that knowing and magic within all the kids today. And so we're here to sort of like really sort of like get them to that next level.
Yeah, just like kind of like we all need that guiding light. I mean, like you guys, I mean, lucky, you know, you had, you know, your family with you, which was accepting, which is lovely to hear. But some people don't have that, you know. And
no,
I
did. Yeah. Once my dad left when I was 13, my mum turned to the church and became a born-again Christian. She made me and my sister become born-again Christians. And it was absolutely horrendous because my pagan heart was absolutely crying out. It really was. And then I found myself in a place I didn't know who I was or what I was, you know. And even now, it's obviously a very dodgy subject in the family. But, you know, and I've had to learn to really get over that and just take that brave step away. And because, you know what, I've come to this, and we've both come to this, like everyone, come here with our own mission.
Yeah.
You know, and whoever tries to stop you do your mission makes you realise how important that mission actually is.
And what's incredible is the fact that our vision and our mission is the same. And that's what's incredible about it. It's like, we just complete one another in our spiritual visions, and of course our company's called Spirit Visions. So it's very much, we just have this, we just want to help people. We want to say to them, look, it's not complicated, it's not difficult. When I first started in the way of the craft, it was very complicated. Giving a dyslexic all these sheets of paper, rituals that I had to learn. And that's why I love the native way, which was a ceremonial way, which was you just spoke from your heart. So we've combined all of that to say to people, look, it's not complicated. There's no wrong or right. Do it your way. Do it the way of the craft. It's so important, isn't it?
Yeah, so literally all our products are the foundations to teach people to really get that connection. But then we always encourage people to then go off and do it that makes their heart sing.
Yeah, totally. But you give people the foundations and to be able to grow on that, which is so important. And I always believe, you know, a spiritual mission is always within every single one of us.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, people like you guys give us the tools and the tricks of the trade, you know, to make that a reality, which is just so important. And of course, we've got to talk about the spellcasting oracle cards. You know, first of all, you know, whoop, whoop, whoop. You know, fabulous cards as well. They really are nice to have an oracle deck, you know, within kind of the spellcasting arena. But, you know, what was the inspiration, you know, for those cards, guys?
Oh my gosh.
It was very much about, people tend to think spells are complicated, and it's not. It's a form of manifestation. So for us, it was very much about how can we get people to empower themselves? How can we get more mainstream people to empower themselves without going, oh, it's a little bit scary or it's a spell, because there's always that connotation about doing spells. So spell casting came about from our visions about how could we take spells and then educate people, like working with the moon, the phases, the days, all of that, and bring it together. So it's very much we just, we'll be doing something, and suddenly one of us will run through to the other one's room and go, oh, I've just had this vision or this thought or this dream or vice versa. And then it becomes a reality. And so spell casting came about because we wanted to say it's simple. This is manifestation made easy, because out there in the mainstream, there's lots of talk about sort of witchcraft, manifesting, but this is empowering and one step further from manifestation. You're not just sitting there visualizing it, you're taking the tools, you're learning about candles and incenses and everything else. And with everything in lockdown, perfect time, you're in your kitchen. Get spell casting. You've got the ingredients. We've got a deck called Witch's Kitchen. Get on and do it. So it's a tool made easy for people.
Yeah, exactly. And our work is all about empowering others. So we have so many people that have written to us over the years, can you just spell for this and spell for that? This is, hey, you know what, we're empowering you to do it yourselves.
Yes. 100%, yeah. No, and it is. And that's one thing that is so lovely, because you're kind of like giving us a gift in a way. And that's how I look at it, because it really, really is, because so many people out there, because it can be daunting, you know, if you just kind of stepping into the craft and, you know, there is some older books where you got to do these rituals, you got to do it on this date, you know, and you've kind of simplified it, but yet you've not lost any of that magic. It's people to take. It really is. So, you know, was that a big inspiration, you know, for you guys to make sure you kind of hit that off? And it was simple, and it really is.
Yeah, we kept it. You know, there's an old age saying that has been going around for ages. It's called KISS, and it says, "Keep it simple, sweethearts."
Yeah, and that's the word.
Yeah, that is the only way. And the problem, as you were saying, is nowadays, you know, when we first started, you know, when up in Scotland, it wasn't known as witchcraft. We called it the craft of the wise, which had been down, similar with Flavia. But then everyone gets confused with Wiccans, with pagans, with witches, with heathens. It's very complicated, you know, and there's so many different types of witches. And by the way, we are doing a witches deck all about the different kinds of witches, like sea witch, weather witch, all that. So that's in the pipeline as well.
Yeah, I can say it's so amazing. Witchcraft at the moment is just growing so massively. Yeah. And often when I see on social media, people sort of say, "Oh, which witch you?" You know, go, "Oh, I'm just a witch, but I'm a blower." And it's just like, what kind of witch am I today? Just shuffle the cards. Oh yes. Yeah. You know, because
cool, so cool.
Yeah, excited about that one. Aren't we?
We're really excited
we're
about
excited about all our decks.
Yeah, we do. We're working on our witches moon magic deck at the moment.
Yeah. Wow.
So
that'd be amazing.
And it's just saying, look, keep it simple. Here it is. Don't worry about astrological this or that or getting it exact. If you've got intention for a spell, for a ritual, for a ceremony, you can do it in a second. People spend hours doing it, but if you've got that focus and that intention
with the foundation, and then it's easy. So that the book that comes with the deck, is, as you know, Chris, just full of how to work with the moon, how to work with weekdays, how to work with candles, everything, but we don't overcomplicate it. So
don't. And it's the perfect recipe, you know, it really, really is. And I say you guys, you're like the rock stars of witchcraft. You really, really are.
You know, we've got a song called "We Are the Witches." We are the witches.
But we've got one called "Rock the Goddess"
as well. So that's what we've been doing like for the last 10 years, singing on our band at these shows.
But thank you for that. That is a wonderful compliment, Roxanne.
I know, I love that.
It is. You can have that one. I love it. So, you know, for anyone that's, you know, watching this right now, maybe they're at the beginning of their crafting journey, you know, so where would be, you know, from you guys, a good place to start?
Okay, well, the very, very first place is obviously to go deep within. What do you feel like? What feels, what are you being called to? And most people that are called to witchcraft are called to nature. Children of nature out there, you're the ones, you have got that natural witchy soul. You've got that pagan heart. How do you feel when you go outside? Do you notice the seasons? Do you notice the change in the weather? What is it that really makes you excited? Is it when you're stirring a magical brew, or even like your cup of tea in the kitchen, or is it when you're outside? And it's really what suits you. And so to start off, it really is about really looking at what's going around you in nature, because that is the key. It's an earth tradition, earth-based tradition, and that's what it is. How do you feel when you look up at the moon? How do the stars make you feel? That tells you you are a witch. A witch, by the way, isn't scary. What do we say it stands for?
Wise, incredibly talented, creative healers. And what are witches? Wise, incredibly talented, creative healers experiencing supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Woo!
You guys are awesome. You guys are just, seriously, this is the best time. I'm living my best life right now. Seriously, this is just amazing.
Oh,
I
love it. I really, oh God.
That's fun. Do you know what? Everyone takes things too seriously. And when you go on the circuit, when you meet other people, it's like just relax, just enjoy. What we're working with is magical. It's fun. It is very much Harry Potter made manifest, and you can be the Hermione Grangers and the Harry and all of that, because that power is within us. But people, as we're talking about, have been disempowered, and what our work is about, first and foremost, is empower yourself. Get rid of all the BS around you. Cut the cords from people who are pulling you down. Get to know yourself, as Flavia said, first and foremost. When you know who you are, then you can go out into the world and create magic. It's so important.
It really is. It really is. And and it is all about having the confidence to do it, and yet have fun to do it. But we also are very, very humbled by spirit, as well as being empowered by spirit. And it's just being your authenticity, isn't it? In your authenticity,
it's so important.
And that's what a lot of people don't realize. We see a lot of people on the circuit pretending to be this, that, and the other, and people don't last very long.
No. You can see it. You can smell through it. Even myself. I'm kind of doing this, but kind of at the beginning of my journey. And when I was like 16, 17, I used to have Kate West's Witchcraft book. That was my first ever.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Awesome. I got it from library in Staler Bridge. And I used to, I didn't follow it to a T, but I used to, when I didn't have incense, I used to get my mum's air freshener, and it was lavender. And I just used what I could back in the day.
Yeah.
But things
that's amazing. Adaptability.
Oh, I've got lavender. Oh, there's some.
Yes, brilliant.
Do you know what? It's because everything is intention, and if you put action into that intention, and that's when it works. So it didn't matter that it wasn't pure lavender from the garden.
No, it didn't, not at all. But it's beautiful, and I've got good memories, from that. And like you said, it is the intent, and you kind of having that intent to change that energy, which is beautiful. But we're all connecting with Mother Gaia, with Mother Earth, which can never be a bad thing. So if there is anyone at the moment that's stressed and worked up and lost in this crazy 2020 year, just simplify it. Connect with nature. I love going outside. I can't in the city, but when you go in nature with like no shoes on and just connecting.
It is so important, and that's been taken away from us in this lifetime.
Yeah.
One of Barbara's past life is Native American. She would have been running around in bare feet, of course. And when you do that, you connect with Mother Earth, you connect with Gaia. It's the F sharp, which is the resonance of the heart. Its frequency is F sharp, the same as Mother Earth. So take your shoes off. Feel the earth beneath you and absolutely connect, and then you become as one with Gaia. It's just so important. But how many people actually do that? Or if they do take their shoes and socks off, they're not that conscious of it, but just actually breathing it up. Oh my God, revitalizes every cell. It's incredible.
And at long last, the scientists are now agreeing with us.
Oh, are they? Yes,
good. They're agreeing with us. That it's very important to get out there, get grounded. There's lots of articles now, mainstream magazines that are saying, oh yeah, you should get out into nature. You should take your shoes and socks off and be grounded in the earth. So slowly but surely.
And being grounded is so important. I'm an air sign, so I'm literally naturally away with the fairies. And Barbara's an earth sign, and she's always been very, very grounded. And that's the only way you can really fully receive the information from spirit. And I've become, since being with Barbara over the 10 years, I've become more and more grounded. And literally things that have been happening absolutely phenomenal, because it is that grounding. But I remember not when I was much younger, thinking, oh my God, I've got to open my third eye and work on my crown chakra. Before I even started on my lower chakras, it's like, I want to see spirit, and I know that, so listeners, it's the foundations again is that grounding. It starts from there. Otherwise you cannot pull anything down.
God, it's true though, but it's something that's often overmissed because people are so interested in opening that third eye and seeing things rather than kind of doing it properly. I suppose it's kind of maybe taking your car out but not putting petrol in your car or something. You've got to do everything right for it all to run.
I know, it's crazy. But it's an easy mistake that so many people make, and thought it was just worth mentioning that one.
No, big one, biggie. No, glad you did. So we've got to talk about where you are now. I mean, I've just discovered you've got a beautiful shop in Buxton. I mean, you two, lucky two, must be living the life and living the dream. Tell me all about that beautiful shop in Buxton. If anyone's local, of course, they can pop in, can't they?
We have the shop open a couple of days a week, because where we are, as you now realise, is that we're kind of tucked down a back street. We've been here for 15 years, but since Flavia came along, we've expanded it, and we're known as the Glastonbury of the North. So we have a herbal section. We've got spells. You know, we're sitting in it at the moment. We've got absolutely everything for that discerning witch and that magical practitioner.
It really is a craft shop. You know, it is the spells, the candles, the herbs, as they say, sage, everything that you need, crystals, the spell work. But we've also got like fairies and witchy artifacts and angel things. It's just a pure magical shop, but a craft shop as well, isn't it? And it's we love it.
Yeah, we do.
It's beautiful. And like I said, you know, I will be there, but I bet the energy is immense there as well. That's one thing.
Oh, it's ridiculous. We got some herbs in the other day. We got some mandrake, and oh my gosh! And Barbara, just what happened to you?
Well, we got our supply of herbs in. We got mandrake and hemlock in, and I was suddenly standing there, and I was like, and I could feel the top of my head, and the plant spirit teachers were really speaking to me, and I was just going like this, and then it affected Flavia, and it was incredible.
That's amazing.
But then what happened? I had all the herbs on the counter, and our other cat, Kits, jumps up on the counter, grabs this packet, runs off with it, and goes berserk. It was valerian.
Valerian. Both cats were just blessed out. But when I picked up the mandrake, I could just feel it, and I was called over to it. I picked it up, and literally I looked at it, and literally this female face just manifested from it. It was so strong. It wasn't a shape in the grains. It was literally this, and it was the spirit of the actual mandrake, and that's what we'd been feeling. Yeah, that they'd come in, and it was like spirit was like thick, like treacle in the shop. It was that amazing. And so we had to so we welcomed them in. We welcomed those plant spirits in, and it was just amazing. So the spirits here are fantastic, amazing. Sometimes we get books jumping out on us,
hitting people on the back. We've had customers that, you know, have been standing at the counter, and this book, they'll have been looking at books, they put them all back on, and one, I stood at the door and watched one literally fly across. We had a drum. I remember we had this drum, and we had the window open, and it fell out, hit somebody, but they were actually coming in to look for the drum. So the drum, I'd been put at the window for it to dry out, fell out, hit the customer, but the customer was actually coming to the shop to buy a drum.
There
so
you
the
are.
drum jumped out the window.
That's amazing. The drum picked them.
Yes, and they usually do, and that was just massive evidence.
Yeah, so we're things jumping off shelves and things moving around.
And we've got like loads of ornaments here, loads of just so much stuff, chalices, everything, all our books and our decks, just the works. You've got to come and visit us.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, 1000%. You know, if I could come today, I'll be there now. Seriously, I will be there now.
Get on your broomstick and fly across.
And by the way, everyone, we are tier 1, aren't we?
We're tier 1.
Low tier here.
All right, rubbing it in. All right. You know.
Come and visit. That was
We'll get there, won't we? We'll get there. And of course, you know what's coming on Saturday? Halloween is coming on Saturday. So what is Halloween like in Flavia and Barbara land? I want to know.
Well, of course, in tradition, we treat Samhain as our New Year. So it's coming to the end of the year. So we'll be doing our paper of regrets. And really, it's a super moon as well, isn't it? A super blue moon. So this is going to be absolutely incredible for spell work. So
this is the time to do spell work. Really
we're just absolutely stoked on it. So what we will do, we'll be in the shop on Saturday. It will be open. We're giving out free little tots of mead, hot chocolates, a few little spooky cakes. And we're just seeing, we've got another shop called The Grove, which is just over from Arnamisha's. which is full of all pagan, funky and witchy clothes.
Clothing.
So we're just doing a discount on open, you know, for that.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing giveaways here in the shop, book signings, card signings.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be great fun and very busy, I'm sure.
I want to come. I want to come. Oh no, I'm on Psychic TV on Saturday, so I can on Saturday. I was like, oh, I'm dressing up as Dracula anyway, so it'll be fun.
Awesome. No, we're going to have prizes for people that dress up, and we're just going to make it as fantastic we possibly can. You know, I wish we can transport everybody to Salem, because that is so. We're going to try and create that in our shop, and just sort of welcome people to the magic and celebrate, you know, and honouring the ancestors on that night. We'll be doing rituals at night, and we'll be filming that.
Yeah, we will.
And just welcoming the new year.
And just encourage everyone to light a candle wherever you are, because, of course, the tradition is, because this is when the veil is thin. This is when everyone connects with those that have passed over in the last year and those before that. And so the tradition of lighting a pumpkin was always to light turnip, because of course it stems from here. Pumpkins and squashes weren't in this
No,
land.
I had to carve out a turnip in Scotland.
The whole thing of that's because it's like a holder. And really what it was all about is lighting a candle for those ancestors to see their way back home, because it is only a candle that can be seen in this world and the other world, and that is why we light candles to our ancestors, or to those that have recently passed over, because they can see it
and to guide them.
And it guides them. But isn't that absolutely just beautiful? So anyone just knowing that that's the reason why you light a candle, your loved ones can see it, and I think that's so comforting, isn't it?
So beautiful. I never knew that. And I'm sure there'll be many people out there, because we just do it because we just do it. You know, you go out, you know, you get a pumpkin, it's Halloween, you light it, but not really knowing, you know, the tradition, like why we do these things. But that's why it's so important to have guys like you knowing this knowledge. Because I never knew that. And half of this interview that we spoke about, I feel like, you know, my knowledge has grown so much more. But it's lovely to have, and it's lovely to see, you know, and people embrace you so much. And it's just so important to have people like you in a day like today. It really is.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're honoured.
Well, I've got to say, you know, love you guys. I mean, last question for you both. You know, what do you both love most about what you do?
What a question!
Wow, good question. Good question.
Okay, well, for a start, we live and breathe it. So the moment we've woken up, we're in it, because we're here and it's what we do. So what do we love? It's a very hard question.
It's diversity, because there's so many different things. We're fortunate. We're working mediums, you know, we're singers, we're
writers, we have a shop, we're all of those things. I just really couldn't tell you. Our love for the goddess is absolutely, and you know, and it's spirit that actually fuels us and what keeps us going. We do everything for spirit. That is our focus. And whatever spirit wants us to do, we'll do it. So I suppose, no.
99%. Sometimes.
Oh, we might.
Sometimes they've even
no. Why are you making us do
we're not doing that.
But no, we are obedient. We're very obedient.
We are actually.
And so that's probably it. But not only that, it's really been amazing. Like the last 10 years, we have like literally gone to a show to give workshops and have our stand every single weekend for the last 10 years, and it's been mad. We've taken all our stock with us, seen all the people giving workshops, and you know what? It's the people that keep us going.
Yes,
it
definitely.
is the people, because oh my gosh, we just light up when we just see even a little glimmer of someone just being empowered, or just suddenly finding out about, you know, witchcraft or ancient, whatever it is we're working in, and that is probably the best motivation of all.
It is. Saying that, there's a saying that Buddha says that you have done your job well if you've lit one person's life up. And so it's all about all of us, you know, if we can do that, if we can ignite that spark, if we can help empower people and say, you're amazing, you're incredible, you're beautiful, then to see the reflection of our souls light up within somebody else, and share that soul love and that connection with everybody is just incredible.
It is incredible. And for anyone just to know that they have the power residing in them. It's about them. It's not about anyone else. And it's about their relationship with spirit, with creator. And that is the most important thing of all.
Absolutely.
Oh, Flavia and Bara, I've got to say thank you so much for coming on Keep It Spiritual. I mean, this was in the stars, you know, timing, everything. For me, I've learned so much. People watching this will learn so much. An absolute pleasure. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. It's been an absolute honour, and we've enjoyed every second. Thanks,
Thank
Chris.
you, and all the best.
And thanks for everything that you do. It's just absolutely amazing, just for bringing this absolute joy out into the world. You're so sparkly and bright.
Yes, you are.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Blessed be. Thank you, guys.
There we are. And of course, if you want to find out anything about those beautiful ladies, I will put everything in the description below. Now, of course, as well, it is Halloween. I hope you have a fabulous Halloween. And if you're watching this at a later date, I really hope you had a beautiful and safe and healthy Halloween. And of course, while you're here, make sure you subscribe and give us a massive thumbs up. Until next time, I've been Chris Meredith. Or of course, have I been Dracula? Have a great evening, a great day wherever you are. Much love and light from me.